because my daughter and I were totally inspired today to do an embroidery journal. So if you haven't seen them out there, some of them are kind of chaotic, like where they do a wheel and they'll do each month has a wheel and they put a new little picture on it for embroidery every day of the year, I think is kind of how they do it. And we decided maybe that's a little more complicated than we're able to do. So, and then kind of through gazing through some of the ideas that there were out there, because one, we didn't do a whole lot of like little tiny embroidery. We've never done that. I've done like flowers, florals, and things like that, but I haven't done like little drawings. So, to collect that many and to figure out what to do, and let's face it, my life is pretty boring. Most days I'm like cleaning the house, doing homeschool, pretty simple, straightforward. So my daughter and I ran across one that was, it was a tree. So it started with January on one side, and each of the branches, they had done it like an embroidery January, February, March, April, you know, all the way through the year. And so that was kind of where our inspiration, like, we kind of like this better. So I think we're going to do our own version of it. And my college daughter, Lydia, she's my crafty, creative sewer. And she was like, I really want to do this, but I'm not sure I would do it all the way through. So we decided to do it together. Last year, we did Barmy Fox's embroider along for an entire month for the month of February. And we both completed that, did that, and thought had so much fun. So we decided that we'd try this version this year. So with our own little twist. So it's going to be a little bit different than having it really set out. Although we really liked the tree idea. So Chalk Couture has this transfer. It's called Rooted in Christ. It's got a tree, it's got the roots, and then it says right in the middle. I'm not sure my daughter really enjoys that bottom portion, but I'm going to make it for her. But we decided, even though she's at college, we're going to do this together. We're not going to be so stiff about it, like, oh my goodness, if we don't, you know, get something done every single day. But we're going to try, even if it's just like a little leaf or something. And then as we go, maybe we'll add in a few little pictures along the way too. I'm not sure. It's kind of small, so, and you know, those little mini ones are pretty small. Anyway, so I'm going to start with this. We are going to do it in some espresso ink, so it's permanent ink, and it won't wash off for the whole year. And then we'll just play it by ear as the year goes along. So you'll have to like come back and check it out as the year goes along. So I'm going to start out with a an ink mat, because it does have a sticky portion to it and will hold it and will prevent it from leaking through. And this is actually a linen from Chalk Couture, believe it or not. But you could buy embroidery linen at any craft store that you would like. I'm not even sure we carry this anymore. I just happened to grab some because it didn't seem like too bad of a price, and I really did like the quality. So, and I'm kind of, the one thing I don't like about this piece of fabric, let me tell you the measurement of it. It is 17.5 by 21 and a quarter, or something like that. So about 17 by 21. The problem is that when you cut the 21 in half, this is kind of narrow for putting on anything. So you want to leave yourself plenty of room. And maybe I will just do it up there on this top corner and go with that, because that looks like that will be a good spot. All right, so that's the linen I'm going to use for one. And then the other one, this was like, I think a 5-pack from Hobby Lobby. They had some pieces, and this is actually, I think, a little bit smaller. So we'll see. Yep, it is. It's about half that size. So, but my daughter wanted one that was more of an off-white color. So I guess I could look at it. I could look at it as, you know, Chalk Couture just has like a little bit bigger. And the thing that we want to be cautious about actually is that we want to have a, sorry, kind of, I have some rings, you want to have a hoop that will fit around it. And so that's kind of a concern. So, and you want to have enough fabric. Ooh, I pulled one end of a string and it came with me. Hello, Mike. Good to see you. I've got some different hoops here that might be effective to do this. You want, when you're looking for hoops to use, you do want to have a hoop that has like the screw thing on the end, that they're just a little bit more sturdy usually. So I think this will work. Actually, I think this is going to be exactly right. So I'm kind of excited about this. So it's going to be kind of a mother-daughter bonding. We'll see how far we get. We'll hold each other accountable a little bit. I think that's going to be a perfect size hoop. And so if I'm looking at my little square here, I don't want to be shy on it. I don't want it to be so close. So I think I might go a little bit in on that just to give myself a little extra room. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So I knew I needed two, one for her, one for me. So I guess she's like, I prefer a little bit not white. That was her request. Hello, Brandon and Ayana and Aqua Diamond. Welcome. So we're going to make a permanent embroidery journal and so this is an ink mat, and we're going to put that down. And like I said, I want to go a little off on this. I want to get all the wrinkles out. This is very sticky. It's kind of like a sticky back mat, but the nice thing about it is that, it will prevent the ink from leaking through. It will hold my fabric in place while we use the ink on it. So kind of excited because, it's fun to do a new project. All right, I'm going to kind of take this here. I want to make sure I have enough on either side. I'm kind of looking for the sides here. I want to make sure I have enough on all the sides. So I'm going to cut probably out here and then down here for it. It's going to waste this strip right here. Maybe I'll use it for something else. I'll maybe use it for a patch or something. Hello. I welcome you so much to this channel. This is my crafting channel. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and hit the heart button for me. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. So anyway, I thought this would be kind of fun. Like as we start out January, usually we have snow here and we do not, which is kind of interesting. This is a silk transfer. So anywhere you see white, that's where the ink is going to print. Anywhere that's aqua or this teal color, that is not going to be printed. And usually if you're using this with chalk, like on a wood surface, you would want to make sure that you... What in the world? Oh. Hit it up with, fuzz it a few times. So just want to make sure we're kind of getting, it doesn't matter, I guess, if it's really straight or not, because in the end, you don't see the edges. Once you get done, you kind of pull in the edges. I'm kind of excited too, because we've done a lot. I must be around 50 of the Carhartt beanies I've made for the holiday season for gifts for people. And I think that's going to be good. I'll just cut right here. I've tried to leave it on the big piece forever. And then I find that I tuck it in and I get it stuck in my piece. So it's better to just cut it off. But I always feel like cutting is such a commitment. I'm going to make sure all the little wrinkles are out of it. There's some... If you wanted to press this, you certainly could. Also, if you felt called to, you could also make sure that you actually wash and dried it. But linen, you don't want to dry it in the dryer anyway, I don't think. Linen does shrink. So you could do that beforehand. I'm not going to. If I did anything to this once I start embroidering it, I will just use like a cold water to, rinse it out or whatever, and then hang it to dry anyway. So I'm just going to take this. This is espresso ink. It's a non-toxic ink, which I love. And it's really super easy to work with. My daughter did mention she didn't really like the leaves. I'm like, but we're going to be covering them up. So it's going to be okay. I'm thinking we're going to start from the left and go to the right. Start in January. And then just do, you know, a leaf for each day or a flower for each day, just depending on what we're doing. As I was running out to the camper today to make this, my other daughter was like, I would like any t-shirt that has a scripture on it, but I would like this one on a t-shirt. So this would make a great t-shirt. And if you would like me to make you an embroidery, I'll have to get some in, but if you would like me to make you one of these and ship it off to you, I certainly could do that. Make sure to contact me. I'm not super interested in doing all kinds of colors, so, you know, either brown or black would be good. If you want a different, I do have some, actually I have a piece of black embroidery cloth. I could do a black one. So I wouldn't put the kit together to make it. That would be up to you what colors you use. Okay. And with ink, you could just take your time. It doesn't matter if it dries in the transfer at all. You just want to make sure you get full coverage. And then we're going to go, oops, that's a little piece of it there. That back in. Always check your fingers before you do any peeling, especially on white, because you don't want to make a little mess on it. All right. Double checking. We're just going to peel this off. So this is a reusable silk transfer. So I'm going to be able to do one for the other one as well. So I'll be able to do, you know, up to 12 prints of this if I want. But isn't that gorgeous? I'm so excited about this. I'm not sure we're going to do anything around the roots. I'm not sure if that would be something we would do. We'll have to kind of wait and see. I think we're just going to try to do the tree and see how it goes. And like I said, it's going to be just like leaves or roots or flowers. I don't know. That's all I can imagine. Told my daughter she might decide to, you know, draw some little things, you know, around. But I think, isn't that beautiful? Let me show you that. Isn't that a beautiful print? And so what I'll do is I'll let this dry for 24 hours or maybe not. I will let this dry, and actually I'm going to help it along a little bit here so it's good to go. But then I will take and put a piece of parchment paper over and heat press it or iron it for, you know, a couple of minutes to heat set it so it'll be permanent. So you could throw it in the washer and it's not going to come off. You can wash and dry it. Although linen, you want to be careful because linen, like I said, linen does I do think this is going to be like best if we, the leaves are so tiny. I could see what she means. She could see the vision. It's funny how you look at it upside down. This looks like a tree too. I could see where she was like, it looks, she didn't like how the leaves looked. They weren't as defined. So we're just going to have to kind of make our own little imagination. And I was thinking that I would do it kind of how the weather is. So like it's been raining. Today is the 3rd of January. Is it the 1st? No, it's the 2nd of January. So it's been raining for the last 2 days. So I was thinking I would just maybe put a very pale blue little flower on here or dot on here. If it snows, I'll put a white one. Then when we start to get green poking through, I'll put green in. Then as we get the flowers, like when the daffodils come, I'll put some yellow in. And just sort of starting from the left and just sort of morph it into that. I may have to do the trunk. And it may also be so doable as well to like maybe do a little bit of, you know, extras around here. But I think even on the tree, if you wanted to, like if there's something that happened, like if you had a graduation or something big that happened or whatever, you could probably, you know, fit that in off on the things. So this is the reason you want to have something behind it. Do you see the brown kind of went through a little bit? So I'm going to take this So like I said, this is espresso, and we're gonna just set this aside and let this dry really good before we do any sort of imprinting on it. I'm gonna iron it too. I could tell you what, my daughter's kind of chomping at the bit. Will you go print that? She said. She's like, we need that printed a couple of times now, meaning she wants to start creating, I think. So we'll probably do some of the branches and things that might be doable. And actually if you look at the transfer, let me look. Yeah, no, the branches aren't super strong in here. So it might be a worthy cause to just, start with the branches and then go from there. We'll see. We'll see. And I think it's going to turn out. So we'll try to keep you posted throughout the year. So make sure you come back. And I would love it if anybody else wants to, join along and you want the supplies to make your own, just text me tree and I will get you the supplies. Just message me your name too, so I know who I'm talking to. I always feel weird, like going, and who is this? So let's see, which is the best way to go here. I think hers was, I always like to take the hoop and kind of size it up, if that makes sense, so that I know how it's going to look around it. I think they're on the top portion. Move it up. Whoops. Too far. All right. This one is the craft store one. It's a little bit thicker fabric than what we had in chalk. So either one works. You could use even just a piece of cotton fabric, but I would suggest if you use cotton fabric, because I did a couple of projects. I did a project, actually I did my month-long one with Barmy Fox last year. Actually, you can find her here on YouTube as well. So go over, give her a shout out. But I did that one. She suggested using a piece of cotton fabric. And I should have done, I did double layers, but it still was just way more thin than I would have liked. So I've decided that for me, for my purposes, I do like to get the embroidery fabric more than I like to just use whatever cotton I have on hand. And I tried to get some of the cotton she had suggested when I went to the fabric stores last year. I'm just going to try to sort of put this on here and get this down really good, especially on those, the bumps where those creases are. We don't want any creases. Anywhere you have a bump or an air bubble, that's going to affect how it prints. So you don't want to have it go underneath. So we're just going to put this down. My fingers are definitely turning a little bit of brown. So before I touch any part of the linen, I'm going to get my fingers cleaned up wherever I put that. I guess I kind of used that on the mat, so it got kind of dirty. So I'm going to get a new one. So new month, new year. I hope you guys had a very blessed New Year's Eve and did something special with your families. We certainly did. We ended up hanging out. We normally go to church because we have kind of a night of games and have a service and communion bringing in the new year. And yeah, my husband was sick, so we just decided to stay home because, no sense sharing that. Let me get this down here. The biggest thing with doing this, so this is a squeegee, a small size squeegee, just kind of goes quicker that way. And I'm just taking up the ink on my squeegee and then getting it over the entire surface. And I'm going to be a little bit more picky about making sure last time I kind of just went every which way on it, which is fine. But because this is my second time and I can't entirely tell where I've been before and where I've gone now. I'm just kind of being more methodic about starting at one end and going to the other end and just getting it all covered really well because we want it to go through. We don't want it to miss spots. And I will peel, when I peel to reveal, I will peel kind of slowly so I make sure that I have all the spots because we can always lay it back down. It is sticky backed. And as soon as we're done here, I will wash this in the sink and get all the ink out of here, and it will be, like I said, reusable. It's awesome. It really makes it economical if you can reuse it over and over. Okay, I think I got it, but I'm just going to set that there. Check my fingers for any ink because we don't want to make fingerprints because it is permanent. Even though we heat set it to make it more permanent, you just don't want to. I don't know why that is so much lighter there. It's okay though. We're going to fill it in. Tell you what, our leaves are going to be teeny tiny, which might make it more doable, right? Because we can kind of decide for a couple of days. Hey, that turned out second time. I probably wouldn't go on a third time. I would probably, I want to get this washed and then I'll let it. So once I wash it with just plain water, maybe a little light scrubbing on it, like with a soft brush or one of our board erasers, then dry it sticky side up on a towel for about 20 minutes and then put it back on the backing to preserve it for your next project. So I'm going to set that aside because that is finished. We're not going to do that one again. Make sure I don't have it on my fingers, and we're going to get our ink closed up here. Like I said, this is a non-toxic ink, so you don't have like any smells. I have definitely been in the presence of ink and it smells so bad. I think it feels like you're gonna get high from it. So I'm super excited about that being, usable. You can do this with kids and it's totally fine. In fact, my daughter usually does her own inking, so it's kind of funny. It does go through. See, it does have a little bit of bleed through the fabric, but you want that. You don't want, you don't have to do any sort of, with the vinyl, when you put that on, sometimes it doesn't stay. Even the professional stuff doesn't look great. So let me show you how that looks. This is the second one. Isn't that cute? So beautiful. So beautiful. What a great way to start the year by having a little kind of journaling process that we're going to do this year. So easy peasy. We've got 2 projects to start. We'll just put these, once we get it ironed, permanent with the permanency, we'll put these in their hoops and we'll start embroidering away. So I hope you all have a very blessed weekend. I will be back on Monday. Just to show you, because it is a new month, we have a new club project. I have the link down below if you would like to check out my club link and check it out. But it's exclusive to this month, only available this month. It is a journal, and this is the transfer that comes with it. It's an 8.5 by 11. It's got lots of really great things on it. I cannot wait to use those. Those are going to be some great little projects that we can do, some patches. But this front one, it says composition book on there, and then it says dated 1949. So you can almost do like a junk journal. And then you get a couple of pastes to go with it in blue, colonial blue, and cadet. And then you also get this 4 3/4 and 7 1/4 inch notepad that is chalk suede. Chalk suede is made to go with our chalk. So it has a little forgiveness. If you make a little boo-boo, you can usually wash it off right away. Some of the ink, some of the paste might not be quite as forgiving, but for the most part, it's going to come off. So we'll be doing that soon. Probably on Monday, we'll do this project. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a very blessed weekend, and make sure that you keep on crafting.